everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Crack That Turning Problems into Solutions. This is me Priyasha, and today I'm up with day 24, that is the last day of the TISSNET crash course series, in which we'll be discussing the questions related to Indian history, general knowledge, and I'll be covering all the 10 different categories of question under Indian history, so make sure to watch the video till the very end. But before that, let me tell you about some exclusive and unique features of the iconic subscription under the Unacademy. Now, what you get under this, you get all the benefits of the plus, of course, but along with it, you also get some additional benefits like one-to-one doubt solving and one-to-one live concept discussion. How can you use this feature? It happens many a times that the student is not able to catch up with the pace of the class, or there's a particular topic which you don't understand very easily as others do. So in the group classes, you might feel the need of taking a break and understanding it. But in the case of iconic subscription, you have the feature or the freedom to have a one-to-one live concept discussion session as well. So if you find yourself difficult, you're finding difficult in a particular topic, then you can have a class with the teacher and understand it at your own pace. Similarly, it will give you the one-to-one live mentorship program as well from the top B school graduates. And the best and the most unique part about the iconic subscription, which makes it completely different from others, is the freedom of booking slots at your own convenience. So here, if you want, you can study from your favorite teacher at a particular time of the day, on the particular day of the week, completely at your convenience. So this freedom is again given only under the iconic subscription. So do check out the link in the description box for enrolling yourself into the iconic subscription of Unacademy, and don't forget to use my code Priyasha10 because that will give you an additional instant discount of 10%. Now let's get our video started. Hello everyone, welcome to the 24th day of the TISSNET Crash Course series, the final day in which we'll be learning some GK related questions to Indian history. But keeping that in mind, we have come so far learning all these days, and this is the last session of our crash course. I pretty hope that you people take additional benefits of these and you can perform really well in your examination. I wish the best to you. And coming to the Indian history related GK, so of course we'll be having only static GK questions from this section, and so I have come up with 10 different categories under the GK, like this Indian history, where you can expect questions from. So starting with the first category, we have the freedom fighter category. So freedom fighters make a good chunk of questions. So under the freedom fighters, we can have multiple questions. Here we have one question on our screen, during which, okay, among the following events, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was given the epithet of Lokmanya. So you know that he was called Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, but during which movement was he actually given this title? So the answer to this question will be option A, that is the Home Rule movement. Now this movement lasted around 2 years. It started from 1916 and goes up to 1918, and in these 2 years they have set the stage for the independence movement, and this was taken care of by Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So the other name which you need to remember in association with Bal Gangadhar Tilak was Annie Besant, and they were actually talking to the educated English speaking upper class Indians and trying to make them understand the need of independence. And this 19, in this Indian Home Rule was renamed in 1920, and this was renamed as Swarajya Sabha. So just mention these things somewhere, okay, in your notes, or take a screenshot, because this will prepare you for the additional questions as well. So now we are just not preparing for when was Bal Gangadhar Tilak given the title of Lokmanya, but we also prepared for the time period of the Home Rule movement, that is 1916 to 1918. What is Home Rule movement? Who else was leading this? That is in Annie Besant. And in 1920, what was it renamed to? It was renamed to Swarajya Sabha. All right, so the first category is done successfully. Then we'll move down to the category 2, which is religion-based history. So when I talk about religion-based history, there was many religious leaders who came up in the context of history. Okay, so here we are talking about Gautam Buddha. okay, for Buddhism. And who was Kantaka in the context of Gautam Buddha? So if you have read anything regarding Gautam Buddha, you must be knowing that. But if you haven't, then you will know it today in this video. So Kantaka is basically a white horse. Okay, so here answer will be option D, that is horse. And according to the Buddhist legends, okay, the Kantaka was a favorite white horse, okay, which was like on whom Gautam Buddha used to ride on before his renunciation. So that means before his renunciation, we called him Prince Siddharth, if you know his real name. Okay, this is another segment I'll take you to. Okay, so Prince Siddharth is the real name or the name before he got, became Gautam Buddha. And all these things are everywhere mentioned in the Buddhist texts. Okay, like whenever in the Buddhist text you have something written about Gautam Buddha, he was always riding on his favorite horse, white horse, the name of which was Kantaka. Okay, two things done successfully, two categories completed successfully. Now we have the third category, which is the historic titles. So under the historic titles, we have one historic title, which is Maker of Modern India. So who was given the title of Maker of Modern India? So the answer to this question is Ram Mohan Roy. You must be thinking that we are missing out Raja Ram Mohan Roy here, right? But the actual name was Ram Mohan Roy only. This title of Raja was given to Ram Mohan Roy by Akbar II. So if you are missing out on Raja, then you know that this was given by Akbar II. So let me just write it like this, Akbar II. Okay, and what do we know more about Raja Ram Mohan Roy? We know that he was the founder of Brahmo Samaj. So this is Brahmo Samaj, and just keep a note like he was the founder. Okay, one of the founders of Brahmo Samaj. Similarly, what else did he actually came up against? He opposed practices like sati, child marriage. Okay, so these were the things which he opposed, social divisions, and his final case was giving education to all. That's why you must be seeing that under Brahmo Samaj we have so many schools even today. Okay, so he is considered to be the father of Indian Renaissance also, maker of modern India, and we also call him as the father of Indian Renaissance. Okay. All right. So these are the additional information which we have with respect to Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who was also called as the maker of modern India. So make sure you keep this in your mind. Whenever questions related to Raja Ram Mohan is asked, you should be ready to answer. Now, the fourth category is the order of the famous dynasties. So, there is a particular order which has been followed. So, keeping that in mind, here the question is for the Delhi Sultanate. So, for the Delhi Sultanate, we have a correct order, okay, of dynasty, who came first, who came last, okay. So, talking about the first option, okay, what should be the answer for this question? The answer should be slave dynasty first, okay, which is also called as Mamluk dynasty. So the slave dynasty is also called as the Mamluk dynasty. After Mamluk dynasty, we had the Khalji dynasty. So if you want to remember, I can give you the numbers also. Even like don't worry because the numbers are not asked directly, but still the slave dynasty is also called as the Mamluk dynasty from 1206 to 1290. Then we have the Khilji dynasty or Khalji dynasty, you can call it anything. Okay, this Khalji dynasty came up and started ruling from 1219, sorry, and then that went up to 1320. So a long reign. After Khalji dynasty, we had the Tughlaq dynasty. So this is Tughlaq dynasty, and this Tughlaq dynasty started from 1320 and went up to 1414. And after Tughlaq dynasty, finally we had the Lodi dynasty, and then came the Mughal. So Lodi dynasty was from 1451. Okay, sorry, this should actually here in between Tughlaq dynasty and Lodi dynasty, we also had Sayyid dynasty, which is not in the options here. maybe because it was not very much relevant. Okay, it went up to 1414 to 1451, and so from 1451 to 1526 we had Lodi. Okay, so the Sayyid dynasty was not very relevant, so maybe that's the reason they haven't added it in the options. So the correct answer to this question will be option C, that is slave, that means Mamluk dynasty, then Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, then we have Sayyid dynasty but it's not mentioned here, and then finally we have the Lodi dynasty. Now moving next to the fifth category of question. Fifth category of the question belongs to the ancient history. So let's check the ancient history questions. Savatthi was the capital of which among the 16 Mahajanapadas? Okay, that's important, guys. Okay, because this question will have a lot of information. Why? First, let's find the answer. So Savatthi is the current capital. Okay, it was the capital of Kosla. Okay, option B, Kosla is my correct answer. But we have lots of information here, as I said. So first we need to have a quick look upon what are the 16 Mahajanapadas which we should know. At least if you don't remember it by heart, at least try to remember or read out the names right now so that you remember it even if they ask you sometime. So the 16 Mahajanapadas will start with Anga. So I'm writing it down for you. It's Anga. Then it's Magad. You know Magad is a very famous one. Magad. Then it was Kosla, the answer of this question. Then we had Kashi. Then we had Vaji. And then we have Malla. The next one will go Chedi. The next is Vatsa. Kuru. Kuru is Kurukshetra actual. Panchala. Matsya. Then we have Avanti, Surasena, Asmaka, Gandhara. Gandhara is famous for its art. And Cambodia. Cambodia is close to Nepal. Cambodia. Okay. So these are the 16 Mahajanapadas right now on your screen, and this Shavatti is also called as, there is one more name to Shavatti. The other name is Shrashvasti. Okay, Shravasti. Shravasti is the other name of Savatthi, which is the capital of Kosla, and it has been always in limelight because of Buddha. Okay, Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha has spent a lot of time after his enlightenment in this place. Okay, that's why it was like very much in the historical significance. All right, so finally we'll be moving down to another category of question, and this is category number 6. Category number 6 is regarding the famous timeline of the famous rulers. Okay, so timeline, when I say, they don't directly give you a question that this particular ruler like Pushyamitra Sangha was ruling from which year to which year. They will not give you a question like that, but they can pretty much give you a question based on the contemporary. Contemporary means the person who belong to the same timeline as the other person given. So here they are asking you to find out the contemporary for Pushyamitra Sangha. So for knowing that, you need to know who was Pushyamitra Sangha. He was the founder and the first ruler of the Sangha dynasty. Okay, that's easy to remember, his last name, Sangha dynasty, which he established against the Maurya Empire. So Sangha came up against Maurya Empire. Okay, and he has been recorded to perform various Ashwamedha Yagna, and you know, the one who performed so many Ashwamedha Yagna is actually trying to legitimize that he has the right to rule the world, right? And what was his ruling period is important. Ruling period of Pushyamitra Sangha is exactly 185 BC to 149 BC. Okay, and in this period, who else was present? Now talking about Patanjali, who was he? He was an ancient sage, okay, and was an author of a number of Sanskrit books, okay. Patanjali specifically, when we say now, we think of Ramdev Baba. So think, why do we think of Ramdev Baba? Because he is a yoga guru, right? So Patanjali also wrote a number of books, but his most famous book was the Yoga Sutra, which he wrote. Okay, the Yoga Sutra. That is a book related to yoga. And what was his time period? Okay, this is the ruling period, okay, not the date of birth and the date of death. This is the ruling period. And what was Patanjali's period? Patanjali's period was, he was born in 200 BC and died in 150 BC. So can we say that he was a contemporary of Pushyamitra Sangha in the same time period? Yes, true. Now, if I compare the other options, Kalidas was in the period of 4th to 5th century. So we have come in AD now, 4th to 5th century. Okay, what is Heliodorus? Heliodorus is actually a pillar which was discovered in 1877 by Alexander Cunningham. But after like much inquiry, they found out that this pillar existed in the 2nd century. Okay, so Heliodorus is also not a contemporary of Pushyamitra Sangha. And finally, Vasudev too, he was a Kushan emperor, not the cushion we sleep on. Kushan is the Kushan dynasty. Okay, Kushan emperor. So Kushan emperor, and his ruling period was 275 to 300. Okay, BC. Again, not matching, so that's why it's gone. So, question number 6 also done. Now, question number 7 category is Governor General of India. Very important category. Governor General of India. Okay. So, under this, what are we going to do? Let's read a question. Question number 7. Who was the Governor General of India when the Charter Act of 1833 was passed? So, first we need to know what is this Charter Act of 1833. So this was passed by the British Parliament, which renewed the East India Company's charter for another 20 years. For the next 20 years, they can do all the work and they can continue reigning over India as they were. And this act was also called as the Government of India Act of 1833. Okay, the other name of this act, and the other name also is Saint Helena Act of the same time, 1833, Saint Helena Act. Okay, but the company's commercial activities were closed down. And who was the Governor General then? The Governor General then was Lieutenant General Lord William Bentinck, option D. Okay, so he was a British soldier and statesman, and he served as the Governor General of India from 1828 to 1835. So 1833 comes in between this period. So he was the Governor General of India. Got that? Okay. Question number 8 is another category, which is the real name of the rural. Sorry, it's rulers. It's such a tongue twister. Okay, so you have to match them with the correct names. Okay, Ali Gurshap is the correct name of Alauddin Khilji. Yes. Okay, Nuruddin is the correct name of Jahangir. Yes, but Padsha Ghazi is not the correct name of Aurangzeb. The correct name of Aurangzeb is Mul al Din Muhammad. Okay. So just like this, you may be asked the other names. Like I asked you in the beginning of the video, what's the real name of Gautam Buddha? His name was Prince Siddharth, right? So just like that, you should have an idea of the few famous people and their names. Okay, like if we talk about Akbar, Akbar is also a very famous ruler. So what was his real name? His real name was Abul Fath Jalaluddin. Jalaluddin, I guess you must be knowing this, heard it in movies and all. So Jalaluddin Muhammad. And then we had Akbar. So in short, we call him just Akbar. Okay. Fine. The ninth question is related to the Vedas. So ancient history, guys, related to Vedas. Okay. So here the question says the term Vitasta in Rig Veda refers to which among the following rivers? So here we are talking about a river, and we need to find out which river was named as Vitasta in Rig Veda. So the answer to this question will be option C, that is Jhelum. This Jhelum river actually originates from the India administered territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and goes up to the Azad Kashmir territory of Pakistan, Punjab. Okay, and the westernmost of the five rivers. We know the five rivers of Punjab, right? So this one is the westernmost river and passes through the Kashmir Valley. But when it comes to Rig Veda, what do we know about Rig Veda? It is the ancient Indian collection of the Vedic Sanskrit hymns and one of the four Vedas. What are the names of the other Vedas? After Rig Veda, we have Yajur Veda, then we have Sama Veda, and then finally the last one is Atharva Veda. So these are the names which should be there in your mind, okay, while answering any questions related to Vedas. And so, in this question, we learned not only the name of Vitasta as Jhelum, but we also knew about Jhelum River and its running territories and the Rig Veda as well. Okay, and the last category in here is the acts and the movements. So there were many acts and movements in the history of India which were relevant to us. One such one here is the Rowlatt Act. So what happened in Rowlatt Act during the Indian freedom struggle? Why did Rowlatt Act arose popular indignation? The reason is what? So basically they're asking you what is Rowlatt Act in short. So how would we answer this question? The first option says it curtailed the freedom of religion. No. The second option says it suppressed the Indian traditional education. No. It authorized the government to imprison the people without trial. Yes. So this Rowlatt Act came up in February 1919 to be specific, okay. And here this legislation passed by the Imperial Legislative Council of British India. Act allows that the certain political cases can be tried without juries and permitted, okay, so permitted the authority to actually take up any suspect without any trial, and this was hugely resented by the Indian public, okay. What did Gandhi do to abolish this? Gandhi, along with the other leaders, came up with an hartal. Okay, this hartal was also called as the Rowlatt Satyagraha. So you know that what Gandhi always went for Satyagraha. So yes, one such Satyagraha was for the Rowlatt Act. Okay, so you know the name associated with it will be Gandhi. Okay, and this is also somewhere or the other related to the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The reason is that in Jallianwala Bagh massacre, they were just they were there for the celebration of Baisakhi, but at the same time, they also wanted to peacefully protest against this. Okay, Rowlatt Act. And when people came to know that okay, there are many people out there, so you knew what happened, right? So keeping that in mind, let's just mention that Jallianwala Bagh was also a important name related to the Rowlatt Act. Okay, and yeah, one more thing. They were protesting not just regarding, if you want to know in specific, then the Rowlatt Act was applied, okay, on two leaders. That was Satyapal, okay. Satyapal was arrested and Saifuddin Kichlu was also arrested. Okay, so for them, they were actually peacefully protesting inside, and the police came to know, and you know what happened. So this was all about this history related GK question, guys. I came up with 10 different sections. The first, all these sections would really help you to, go for additional questions by searching it in Google. When you search it by category, it will become more easy and streamlined. And this was the last video for the TISSNET Crash Course series. So if you like this video, please like this video, share it with more and more people, share it in all your groups, okay. And if you're new to this channel, then please subscribe to this channel, make this family more stronger and bigger. And I wish you all the very best for your upcoming examination, guys. Take a deep breath, relax. We have worked a lot, okay, for this examination. Now it's time to just deliver what we have learned all these days. So wishing you the best again, and I'll meet you in my next video. Up till then, please take care and thanks for watching.